Yes. So, hello everyone. This is your host Anup Gade, and today we are going to complete our unit number 5, that is virtual VMD. And we know that we have gone through all the concepts of page replacement algorithms. We have gone through all three algorithms related to the page replacement algorithm, that is FIFO, optimal page replacement algorithm, and least recently used. Now, the last concept related to the unit is thrashing. Now, please try to understand what is meant by thrashing. Okay, listen it very carefully because concept is very important. And whenever we are dealing with our computer system, we found out that we are usually handling this particular condition, we are usually facing this particular condition. Okay, so if a process does not have enough pages, the page fault occurs. The first thing we have understood it, why page fault occurs, how to overcome the page fault. If free frames or memory is not available, if processes does not have enough pages in a main memory, on continuing, obviously page fault rate will start increasing. Okay, and if page fault rates goes on increasing, it creates the problem as it lower down the CPU utilization. Okay, and whenever CPU utilization is lowered down, your operating system start thinking, your operating system start reacting on it. And in response to that, what your OS will do, OS will start thinking to increase the degree of multi-programming. And we have already understood that, we have already gone through that. Whenever OS wants to increase the degree of multi-programming, OS will add more number of pages or more number of tasks into main memory. And whenever process adds another task into main memory, obviously space is limited. Already page faults were occurring, already page fault aa rahe hai. Why page fault aa rahe hai? Because enough number of frames are not available in a main memory, and that's why required page is not available. And required page is not available, obviously it occurs a page fault. Okay, so page fault is occurring, whereas whenever page fault is occurring, CPU utilization is down. As soon as CPU utilization goes down, your OS will start alarming कि यार CPU utilization बहुत कम है. In order to increase the CPU utilization, what your OS will do, OS will try to bring more and more number of program into main memory. Why? Because to maintain the degree of multi-programming. And when OS will again bring some task or some programs into main memory, again it increases the overhead of main memory. पहले ही जगह नहीं थी और नए प्रोग्राम्स आ रहे हैं और प्रॉब्लम्स आ रहे हैं, obviously a process is busy in swapping pages out of the memory and swapping in some pages in a main memory. So your OS is performing, your entire focus of CPU will be shifted from execution to the swap in and swap out operations. Why swap in and swap out operations will increase? Because already frames नहीं थे और नए programs OS ने लाके डाल दिए, so और space नहीं है. And we know that whenever we don't have enough space available with us, what your OS will do, your OS will perform swap in and swap out operation, first swap out and then swap in operations. So your CPU is busy in swapping the pages in and out, and this particular situation is termed as thrashing. And whenever thrashing increases, your CPU utilization automatically starts decreasing. ये देखो, this is particular the graph of your execution and degree of multi-programming. Till this particular point, जहाँ पे thrashing चालू होने से पहले तक things are going normal, but as soon as the process of swap out and swap in is automatically or suddenly increases, and most of the task of the CPU is performed towards swap out and swap in. Most of the attention of CPU is towards swap out and swap in. तो आपके मेमोरी में ऑलरेडी स्पेस नहीं है, सीपीयू स्वैप आउट एंड स्वैप इन कर रहा है, मतलब कैसे तैसे मैनेज कर रहा है. This particular situation is thrashing, and whenever thrashing started, the utilization of a CPU automatically drops down, and at certain position, at certain location, your CPU will get hanged. आपका सिस्टम हैंग होना स्टार्ट हो जाता है. Why? Because यहाँ पे एक साइड पे हमें लग रहा है कि कोई काम नहीं हो रहा है. Okay, your OS starts thinking that there is no useful, no fruitful work is going on. So increase the degree of multi-programming. To increase the degree of multi-programming, again we want more and more number of processes to be there in main memory. हम नई नई processes main memory में लाते जा रहे हैं, and CPU इधर से उधर swap out and swap in करने में लगा हुआ है. As a result of it, a moment will come that your system will get hanged. आपका system respond करना बंद कर देता है. That's why I said all of us have already dealt with this particular situation. When your system stop responding to the request of users. Why? Because your CPU is not able to handle the overall situation, and overall system will collapse. Okay, so this particular situation or scenario is thrashing. A process is busy swapping pages out and in and out. Okay, so this particular situation is thrashing. Thrashing is absolutely not good whenever we are talking about OS. So why does paging works? It's a locality mode. Process migrates from one locality to another. Locality ये हमारा फिलहाल it's not a part of our interest. That's why इस locality पे हम focus नहीं कर रहे हैं. Thrashing occurs just because of page faults and the nature of your OS. Okay, whenever your page faults will start increasing, and your OS will also start increasing the number of pages in the main memory, more allocation of frames is required, and this particular situation is not able to handle by your CPU, automatically thrashing will occur. This particular scenario is very important whenever we say that our system is hanged. Okay, why your system hanged? Because your OS and CPU, they were not able to understand the issue, and because of too many number of processes in a main memory and frequent swap out and swap in operations by CPU will create the thrashing. So thrashing is not good, and we should avoid the thrashing condition. Thrashing condition can be avoided only if the number of page fault rate can be get controlled. अगर पेज फॉल्ट का रेट कंट्रोल में है तो ही थ्रैशिंग रोकी जा सकती है. If page faults are too many, obviously thrashing condition will arise. So this is all about thrashing. I hope you have got the